So, the new Doctor Who theme has been unveiled. Now, we knew this was coming because it was premiered at that 6th anniversary concert they did a couple of weeks ago. Like many other people, I wasn't there. It was extremely limited. You could apply for tickets, but yeah, you basically stood no chance actually getting in. I think it was like 200 or 300 capacity, but it was ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, it was premiered there. We knew it was recorded. We knew that they were going to play the whole thing on the radio, and I think they're going to release it on iPlayer at some point as well in the future. The radio broadcast was slated for Sunday, Sunday evening, and then for some reason, just like a couple of evenings before, they thought, oh, yeah, let's just drop it on BBC Sounds or something. I thought they've dropped the whole concert, I think, and they'll have also dropped just a clip with like the footage as well, video footage of the new theme just on the socials and stuff. Just literally out of nowhere. But yeah, a pleasant surprise, obviously. A new Doctor Who theme is always a really special thing, and I did just want to kind of do a little brief video about this, you know, with a little bit of a reaction, first thoughts type thing, just because, yeah, it's a real kind of moment whenever there's a new theme, whenever there's a new Doctor, a companion, whatever. It's just one of those things where yeah, it's a really, really big thing. You know, you want to mark the occasion. Obviously, I have thoughts. Obviously, those thoughts probably will change a bit, you know, for better or worse, I suppose, once we've heard it in action a bit more. I mean, I remember hearing the most recent theme for the first time at the end of Woman Who Fell to Earth, when it was there, a variation of it with that little trailer at the end of that story where you have the guest stars and stuff, and I remember thinking it was cool, you know, but the kind of drums were very overpowering. I think they'd changed the mix, actually, when it ended up, you know, actually being used in the proper context in the coming weeks afterwards. But yeah, you know, these things, you know, it fluctuates, it changes. I have initial thoughts. I thought, you know, the best way to do this would be like a kind of trailer reaction type thing, like I've done in the past, where we just watch the clip, maybe once or twice, you know, listen to it through. Hopefully it won't get copyright striked or anything. I suppose if you're watching this, then yeah, I have found a way to do it without being like banned from the internet. But yeah, I think that's the best way, and I'll save my proper thoughts for the actual reaction. So let's listen to it through once or twice, and I'll just kind of talk a bit about it as we go, really. So here we go. So another kind of Murray fanfare type thing, you know. I mean, so much of this is like the Murray themes of old, and it has a lot of what made them work with a couple of extra flourishes. Love that bit. That's the best bit. And she is amazing, that woman. She is the MVP of the performance. She's great, she's loving it. Little flourish. I like that flourish, I do like that. Middle 8 is pretty similar, I think, to what I've had in the past. I mean, the whole vibe, the whole thing is quite Series 4 Murray, with a bit of other ones thrown in. Little tinkly, that like piano bits there. I think people said that's like the TV movie theme, which is cool. Obviously, like a new addition. And there as well, yeah, actually. And then, because of the way this is done, I should say as well, yeah, because it's like a performance thing, obviously that's not how it's going to sound on TV in terms of the final mix, and that's not the variation we're going to get. I don't suppose it will end with that kind of kind of thing. I suppose, you know, in the actual closing credits or whatever, it'll end in a different way. That's just like that way because it's a concert performance thing, you know, it's a live performance. Yeah, also like interesting to hear how it translates to TV as well, because again, that's a live performance. The finished thing will be a bit more refined, I think, in terms of the mix and stuff. You know, these things always sound a little bit different when performed live versus, you know, how they are in the actual episode. But yeah, I think overall thoughts, if you haven't really got a guess from the way I've been talking about, you know, not immediately won over by this. I say that. I can see why it works. I can see that it works. I can see that it's made a lot of people happy, and I understand why, you know. I think, you know, knowing there was a new theme coming up, I just wanted a little bit more of a kind of new feel from it, whereas this feels very much like, you know, oh, Murray's back. Like, yeah, that is the headline. You can't ignore the fact that he's back. You know, it's very, very evident from like every single note of that arrangement. Like, it's so Murray. Like, oh, big orchestral thing again. You know, obviously, little flourishes here and there, little extra bits. That bit like I was talking about, you know, where that woman's doing the cello and it's like da 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 da, da, and it kind of that little kick just before the melody comes in, like the OG melody. I do love that. That's my favourite bit. Like I said, You know, it just gives it that extra little bit of oomph as we kind of go into it. And obviously, like a new fanfare bit at the start, you know. So in the past, like we've had da 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 da. I think that was for the Smith one, wasn't it? And then Capaldi, it was like da 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 da. Yeah. So yeah, and then obviously like the original ones, like the RTD1 ones, didn't have that. I don't think, did they? I can't remember now. But yeah, it's it just feels like literally like a variation on a theme, kind of like a variation on those Murray ones of old, like riffing on them, which, you know, isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I don't know, I wanted a bit more new from it, I think. And we'll watch it again, you know, through one more time, just to see if there's anything else that kind of comes off my head with this. Yeah, I think that's my main takeaway with it, really. You know, it works as a kind of big anniversary theme. Remains to be seen whether it'll stick around for Ncuti. I suppose it will do, because we've also had his theme unveiled on Ruby Sundays, which I might talk about in the future. Yeah, I guess it will. But I suppose as well, the thing with this, like, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This is a formula that works. It's the big orchestral sound that works and has worked in the past, you know. So I can see why they've done this, why Murray's done it. I can also see sort of why it doesn't really sound that new, because inevitably, kind of going back to that big orchestral sound, it's going to sound a lot like the older Murray ones. But yeah, let's just give us another little watch, another little listen through, and see what we think. See, the fanfare thing, you know, it's always a bit of a weird one. But this is kind of growing on me, I think. It's a nice kind of action-adventure type feel, a big blockbuster feel, I think. Little kick, love it. Yeah, you know, I do like the kind of the rhythm of it with this. I think, as people said, the actual bass section, like the original line, isn't very prominent in this particular arrangement, but the kind of that kind of movement to it, that rhythm is there, present and correct. Choir as well, not something we've heard in the most recent arrangements. I do like as well the little extra, like, da-da, you know, it's not just there in the melody, they've kind of put it there in other places as well, which is very nice. And a little kind of extra, da-da-da-da, all those bits, you know. Any of those little extra flourishes, little kicks, boom, boom, ba-da-bum, you know, it works nicely. Of course, the other thing to say about this, you know, we don't know what the visuals will be like yet in terms of the title sequence, in terms of the vortex and stuff, so that will add another element to it, and the way that those two things interact with each other as well will be an interesting thing to see, because, you know, we can't quite judge yet, I don't think, how this will work in context, obviously. But yeah, very different, obviously, to the Llanola theme that we've been used to, the more kind of, that was very much more in the vein of the original Radiophonic Workshop ones, electronic sound and stuff. Obviously, there's some electronic like samples and stuff in this. I think like the original Delia thing by the sound of it, like the original melody and stuff. Maybe a little bit here and there. But yeah, very much more orchestral, very different sound. I know that works for a lot of people. I'm saying that like it didn't work for me. It does work for me, but I just wanted a little bit more new stuff from it, I think. There are the flourishes here and there, the little kicks, little extra bits I talked about, but yeah, maybe some of those would be nice. But then, like I say as well, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, obviously this works for a reason, and so I can see why it's this way. But I've rambled on for far too long about a little kind of, well, a little theme tune, essentially, that, you know, over the years has changed here and there, but has essentially remained the same. Like, I say this is a new theme. It's a new variation of the theme, but yeah, ultimately, you know, it's only going to, you know, get so new. It's only gonna, there's only so many things you can do with it. It's ultimately gonna always sound pretty similar whatever you do with it. But I'd love to hear, you know, your thoughts on this in the comments below. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Somewhere in between. Whatever, let me know. You know, I'd love to hear what you've got to say about this. It'll be very interesting, and very interested to see how it works in context. But yes, if you have enjoyed this video, please do leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new for more stuff like this in the future as we get closer to the 60th. And until the next one, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye for now.